Looks like the mailman finally got us our Hugo. It's a battery backup system. We're here in this attic. We're getting ready to install it on this tankless water heater. It is a typical install that you'd see in an attic. And let's get this box opened up and see what's inside of it. Looks like we got, tilt this back. Looks like we've got a bag. Flow switch is inside the wire. Some clamps to mount the box. Looks like a key to open up the door, and a plumbing fitting. Let's set this over here. We've got the user manual with our instructions. Then it looks like the rest of it is probably the Hugo itself. So we'll pull this thing out. Yeah, it feels like it weighs about maybe 35 pounds, but we can get that thing opened up, look at it. The box got our serial number. Model number, everything listed right here on this outside of the box. Alright, well, I'm going to set this box off to the side. We'll get this unit opened up. So that key that I saw earlier, oops. Alright, so there's the unit. A little tip that I'm going to do for this install, like I said, it felt like it weighed about 35 pounds. Just to make this box easier to hang up, I'm going to go ahead and remove the battery, which is probably the bulk of the weight, and then everything should be pretty quick and easy from there. Let me grab a couple screwdrivers and we'll get this battery out. There's a quick disconnect right here that I can just disconnect it this way and not even have to unscrew those, and then that will let me free this battery up. So the battery's out, and now it's just the box itself with the components in it, and I can go ahead and mount the mounting brackets, and we'll get this thing hung up. Okay, now we're going to install the brackets. I'm going to go ahead and close the door back up. Alright, that's closed up, so I'm going to turn this thing around. We've got these 4 areas right here for the brackets. Brackets were in the bags with the accessories, with also the screws. So we'll set them out. So four brackets. Looks like we've got 8 Phillips head screws with washers, or locking washers. Alright. Alright, I'm going to put these brackets on there. One very important thing to remember when installing these brackets is this keyhole right here. This will come into play when we're actually hanging it. It'll allow me to just set a screw and then hang the unit on it. So this is the upright position for that. It'd be like that, not like that. That doesn't do you any good here. So I'm going to install 4 of these like that. I've got the screws to go through here, like I said before, just a Phillips head, and then we got a couple washers just to tighten these up on here. So let me thread that through there and grab my screwdriver. get one snugged up, and then I'll tighten the top one, and then go back and catch that bottom one. Alright, so that's one down, 3 more to go. And of course you could use a screw gun doing this too, but I'm just not in a hurry today, so taking my time. Alright, we are going to hang this thing on the wall and get it all screwed in. I just want to go over these keyholes again, why it's so important to have these facing up, because with those it gives you that play of just being able to pretty much throw a screw in, and then you can set that thing in. I'm going to keep the screw out about 1/4 of an inch, and then that way I can just hang one of these ears right there, and now that's pretty much supporting this unit. And then I'll level it up and go ahead and throw the rest of them in. So there's 2. Grab the 2 on the bottom. I'm just using regular construction grade screws. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and tighten that first one back up. So that thing is solid, not going anywhere. Definitely during a storm, that's kind of the point of the unit anyway. So now we will hook the wires up. Alright, so the unit's hung up, it's secured. So now we're going to go ahead and put the battery back in, because I probably wouldn't have been able to do it one-handed like I did if that battery was sitting in there. So that's the way we left it. So I'm just going to slide this battery back in there. Alright, I'm going to wait till later to hook these up. I'm going to go ahead and put the bracket back in. And remember, that was those 4 screws. Alright, we got the bracket all in place. I'm going to go ahead and close the door again. And we are now going to install the pressure switch, which is the last remaining item in the bag. We got the pressure switch right here that's going to get installed on the incoming cold water line. Very important is the direction of flow. You know, there's an arrow right there that we have to follow, so that is the way the water's going to go. So we're going to install this on that water line. Alright, so I've got the flow switch out. I've got the tools that I'm going to need to install the flow switch. Typically in the bag it comes with this 3/4 brass coupling that you could connect right to your tankless water heater, put your flow switch on, and just lower your water kit. As you can see, with this being an attic install, it's got this trough drain that you normally wouldn't see if it was an exterior unit or something like that. So instead of trying to cram all that in there, I'm just going to install the flow switch right here on this horizontal line. It's PEX plumbing, so I'll use this pair of crimpers. I'm going to go ahead and tighten up 2 PEX 3/4 female adapters onto both sides of this flow switch, and then I went ahead and brought a valve too. This isn't necessary, but anytime I add something that I might have to work on later, I just like to have a ball valve there. That way I can close that. We've already turned the water off to the house, so it's already drained down. So once we install that, we get the water back on and go from there. I would highly recommend to anybody to always use Teflon tape. Some plumbers or some homeowners might use pipe compound or pipe dope. The problem with that is one, tankless water heaters don't like it, and two, this flow switch wouldn't like it. The pipe dope could get inside the working areas and just kind of junk everything up in there. So you definitely want to use Teflon tape, so that way it keeps everything nice and clean. So I've got both threads taped up. Now I'm just going to attach these PEX fittings onto that, so that way we can attach it to the water line. Come down. Alright, that should be tight. Now we're going to cut the water line and make sure that we stick with this label right here that has the direction of flow. So the direction of the flow is going to be going to the water heater. So whichever way that water is going, in this position it'd be like this right here. So we're going to go ahead and cut the water and get this installed, and then we can get the water turned back on. I'm going to go ahead and cut it right here where I can easily get my crimpers back in there. Plus any water will drip right into this pan. Alright, so that's disconnected now. The flow switch and the PEX line's cut, so I'm going to install my PEX ring. Once again, I can't say how important this is. It's just, you really have to make sure that flow switch is pointing the right way. It will not work if it's not pointing the right way. So I just checked that again, verified it. Flow switch is in there properly, pointing towards the heater. And now I'm going to crimp the flow switch on, and then after that we'll reconnect the water line to it. Alright, so I just made my final crimp, so all the water is connected again. One thing that's very important is this flow valve, this flat part needs to be facing down. So since it's PEX pipe, I can just rotate it. So that is now facing down. There's a paddle in there that has to be pointing down, otherwise it won't operate correctly. So just make sure that's always facing down. Make sure your arrow is always facing towards the heater, and that is all there is to know about that. And we can now turn the water on and check for leaks. And we are leak free, so we are good to go. Alright, now it's time to install the flow switch wire. So we will everything electronically goes in on the right hand side of the Hugo, right below where all the certifications are, the make, the model, everything you need to know about the Hugo is all listed right there. And then right below that's this door. It's held by 4 Phillips head. Same thing, number 2 Phillips head. I'm going to go ahead and pop these out. So in here we have the power cord for the Hugo, and then right in here we have the receptacle that the Renai will plug into, and then we also have the port right here for the flow switch to plug into. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is go ahead and plug the flow switch in. And there's only one way to do this, so you can't get it wrong. It won't go in any other way. I'm going to unplug the Renai power cord and the Rinnai gets plugged in right here. So now all these three, and then now I'm ready to put the door back on. And if you notice this gasket right here on the door, that's what makes this box weatherproof. You know, water can't get in there, dust, you name it, it's sealed off. Alright, that's the final screw for the plate. So now it's time to open the Hugo back up and get it powered up. So I'm going to plug the quick disconnect back in, which was this part right here. And just like everything else, there's only one way to put that in. Can't mess it up. I'm going to plug the power in, the Hugo power. So it is powered up, and then I have a toggle switch right here that I'm going to flip on, and that is now on. So everything is running. The Hugo is protecting the Rinnai, so we can turn our Rinnai back on. So the unit is now powered up. It's being protected by Hugo. Everything's the way it used to be. So now it's ready to go. If we lose power, Hugo will take over, which we can show you kind of how that works. What makes Hugo so special is the way it operates. Right now we have hot water running through this Rinnai. As you can see, our LED red light says in use, so it is creating hot water. If somebody was in the shower and the thunderstorm went and knocked the power out, or a snowstorm or any other condition where you lose power, such as this hot water heater keeps working and never misses a beat. And that's what makes Hugo so great, and why everybody with a tankless water heater really needs to have one. Alright, now that we have the Hugo hung up, powered up, everything's fully operational, I just want to go over some few minor last details. Inside the door is where you'll find the serial number. You'll also find the ETL information, and anything else that you need to know, model, input, output, everything's listed right there inside that door. Now let's talk about these LED lights. Right next to the toggle switch is a bank of lights. It pretty much tells you how your Hugo is operating. Right now the green light is lit up for line. That means we have AC power going to Hugo, also feeding the tankless water heater. When that light is lit up, everything is the way everything normally is. This battery, the yellowish light, if that was blinking, that means the trickle charger is being activated and it's in operation of the battery. It's charging it as it's in standby. Right now it is not blinking, so this battery is completely full and ready to go. When we unplug the power or during a power outage, this green light for the inverter will light up. That tells us that the unit is in battery mode and no longer on standby. So we can now unplug the power and act as if it was a power outage, and what will happen is the green light should light up and you will hear an audible chirp that the unit puts out, letting you know that you are running on battery power. So we'll do that right now. So as you can see, there was the chirp and there's the green light. But if you look at our tankless water heater, it is still lit up and ready to go. And now we're back on AC mode. It's checking out the battery. Battery's still fully charged, so the light, there's no yellow light flashing. Green light solid there. And then the last thing to mention is this red light. If something was to happen with the motherboard, red light would light up and you would need to call your service provider. And that's pretty much it.